Hello there, I'm Kevin Carson, and today I'm really pleased to have Katrina Bavin from the Weaver's Wine Bar and Eating House. Hi, Katrina, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, good. Katrina I asked Katrina along because as a lot of people I think in DIS know who Katrina is. She's got a good following on social media. She has, obviously, she's got the wine bar there. But of course, they've had to close because of social distancing. I think you've got with a good scheme, which I think is working at the moment, Katrina, haven't you?
It is. It's been very successful. We were very surprised and traumatised almost when we had that very little notice that we were going to have to close on the Friday night, the 20th. And we had lots of people booked in for the weeks that followed. So we just decided that it was worth giving takeaways a go, and we would see what the take up was of them, and it's been very successful. We just do Fridays and Saturday nights. We haven't got staffing at the moment, so we couldn't do more anyway because we probably wouldn't be able to cater for any more with just a few of us that we've got. So, but yeah, it seems to have gone down really well, and people are booking up for weeks in advance to give themselves a little treat at the end of a week.
Yeah, I saw actually on Facebook that you was saying, well, we're already booked up for this coming weekend, and we're now booking for the next weekend. So, I mean, the thing is, with Weavers, and I've been in this for a long, long time, and you've been owners of Weavers for 30 odd years now, is it? Something like
that's
that,
right.
I think.
Yeah, so William, my husband, who most people will also know, he's the chef, and he started the business in 1987, so 30 odd years ago, 33, 34 years.
I don't know any of the
33 years.
Sorry, Trina, sorry.
So yeah, 33 years ago. So he's had plenty of practice of running Weavers, and we're very lucky.
Yeah, I don't know of any other eating establishment, pub or anything like that who's been in ownership for that long and also so successful.
Well, that's very kind of you to say so, but yeah, there are a few of us around. It's not the easiest of industries to run for that long. You do have to be able to take the rough with the smooth, because it's not always perfect, and depending on the economy, often treating yourself to dinner out is one of the things that perhaps slides. So, but we're very lucky. We've got a very loyal, regular, customer base from this and the surrounding area, and yeah, they're very, very good to us. They keep using us for all their special occasions. We've been going for so long that we've seen people's children grow up, and we've had their birthdays and their 18th birthdays and their graduation from university, and then they bring in their own children for the same occasions. So it's surprising how, I think we've all grown along with each other. So
oh, that's an absolutely fabulous story, that is, isn't it? Sort of, that sort of, you've got generations still coming through, and obviously they're doing the same. I obviously don't come to every week, but every time I've come to Weavers, I've never ever had a bad meal. And sometimes I go somewhere and it was because of my choice, but I think you can choose anything on your. I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you now.
I was going to say, I'll pay you later.
But I think a lot of people think this, and obviously it's one of the reasons why I'm doing it is because sometimes we don't give credit where credit's due. People like to complain, but sometimes you don't get the sort of the praise. And I think really, wherever I've been, we've always been treated well, good service, and also fabulous food. So I think, and obviously being there for 33 years is testament to it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I wouldn't say that we always get it right. There are days where people aren't happy, and I think as any business that you run, and particularly ones where you deal with the public, everyone's expectations are different, and you're not always, unfortunately, going to hit everybody's. But we're very, very lucky. As I say, we've been doing this a long time. We hope that we get it right as often as we can, and I hope that the testament is that we get people that come, week after week, month after month, year after year, and celebrate all their special occasions with us, and for that we're really grateful. So And in case in point, as you said, we're very, very lucky. We've got some great staff, and many of our staff have been with us for a very long time. Some of our key waiting staff have been with us over 20 years. And I think consistency is key. They know the customers and the customers know them as much as they know William and I. So, and they know what our customers like and what their children are up to, and they live in the same towns as them. And it's important that when people come here that they're going to see the same familiar face and they're going to get the consistency of service and food. So
that's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and sort of the what I was going to say was that in respect of obviously that your loyal staff, it's always nice to come into Weavers and they know you.
Yeah, they do.
You know, recognisable. So I think that's great. Katrina, just tell me, really, you've lived in and worked in Dis now for a long, long time. What do you really love about Dis?
I love the fact that everybody seems to know everybody, and that everyone's happy to stop and chat, and everyone's got history. And as I say, you probably know them for many years, and you only have to go down the market on a Friday and you'll see people stopping and chatting with passers-by and people they know, and it's a chance for them to catch up. And so I spent some of my time living and working in London, and if you spoke to somebody that you didn't know in the tube or in a shop, they looked at you like you were crazy. Whereas I'll speak to anybody, and people I know and people I don't. And I think it's nice that, just a case in point, I had to go to the supermarket this week, and we're all standing in queues 2 meters apart. So you're standing in a queue outside the supermarket for 15 minutes. And while we're all standing in this queue, we're all busy chatting to each other, complete strangers, talking to each other about how we're coping with the current circumstances, and are our children going crazy being stuck at home. And by the time I got to the front of the queue and was able to go into the supermarket, I'd made 10 new friends.
And that's your personality, Katrina, as well.
I don't know about that.
And of course,
I think people are like that in Dis. They're happy to chat. They're very sociable. There's a real community feel about the place, and it's lovely.
And of course, not literally, but we bumped into each other in the supermarket yesterday.
We did
as well.
We socially distanced.
Obviously, the people of Dis have actually taken you and are willing to sort of to heart, really. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. As I say, I think we've all got a back history. There've been a lot of our customers have been eating with us for a very long time. They want us to survive this current crisis for us all. So they want to make sure that we're still going to be here when all this is over and we all return to normality. So they're all very good to us anyway, but I think particularly with the takeaway, we've seen a huge take up from our regular loyal customers that have been eating with us for many years. I think they all want something to look forward to at the end of a long week where they've had their own struggles. But equally, I think they've particularly taken this on board because they want us to still be able to continue to trade. And we're so overwhelmed and grateful for the fact that they're all ordering. In fact, a number of people have already rebooked another slot, having had one takeaway already. I think in part it's because they want us to survive.
And I think that's when I've sort of said, when it's not when we all get snowed in, all of a sudden we start talking to one another and sort of all pull together because that's what's needed. And obviously with the situation we're in at the moment, we are literally all in this together, and it's great that there's a lot of people who are actually pulling together and supporting one another, which is the essential thing, because they still want you here. So when this all finishes, it will finish. The only thing we don't know is, of course, when. So
when, yeah.
So, but going back over the sort of, say, the last 20 years, would you say that things have changed a lot in terms of, obviously, I know the town has in terms of how it looks, but people's sort of perception of things, your menus, has eating habits changed at all?
Yeah, probably eating habits. I think people have got more adventurous over the years. Perhaps the fact that they're cooking shows and the master chefs and the celebrity chefs. 20 years ago, there were nowhere near as many TV shows that were cooking based. Now, every channel has got some cooking show on, whether it's Great British Menu or MasterChef something on the telly. So people are far more adventurous with the kind of foods that they'll try. People cook a lot more at home, and they're far more adventurous in what they cook, and people's expectations are higher. So yeah, I think our menu has definitely evolved over the last sort of 20 or 30 years, from what we serve now to what we serve then. Although people still love the old favourites. We still sell as many suet puddings and as many, you know, prawn melon and prawn cocktails as we always did. And I think people like the nostalgia of it sometimes, and the comfort food.
These you do, because the suet pudding's my favourite. So
you're not alone.
And so, and if you sort of say one thing you could change about this, and one thing you'd like to keep the same, what would they be?
I think the thing I'd probably like to change is I think I'd probably put the yellow lines back in around the Heritage Triangle. I think it's the bane of my life, people abandoning their vehicles all around me. And 90% of the whinges I get from my customers are down to whether they're allowed to park on the road or not, and the vagueness of it all. So it's a very small, picky thing, but for someone that runs a restaurant in the middle of the Heritage Triangle.
Yeah. Well, I think that's quite a topical. I think it's quite a topical subject in this. Actually, I think sort of, you know, with that sort of, you know, so I think there are some people who think sort of, you know, did they really spend that amount of money, and what did it actually improve there as well? I can see obviously what we want to do, and we all have to change, but I certainly sort of see that. So if you can give me one word that describes this and the people, could you do that in one word, do you think?
For me, it would be community.
Yeah.
I think they all pull together, and you only have to look at the social media sites at the moment where people are isolating, or there's elderly people or people that need assistance picking things up. And every time someone says, I can't get into town because I'm isolating, can anyone pick up my prescription or my shopping? There is hundreds of people that volunteer to go and collect that thing for them. And, you know, every town has good and bad elements to it, but I think Diss, in the main, is a lovely town with lots of lovely people who will do a lot for each other.
Katrina, I couldn't have put it better. Thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.
I'm pleased you're actually able to join us, and so that you know, you're certainly. We've actually sort of called this local heroes and stroke champions, and certainly I think you are a local hero and champion of,
I don't know about
the town.
that.
I'd just like to say thank you very much for Katrina for coming and for talking to us. If you know of anyone else who is a true champion in Diss or the local area, whether they be a volunteer, members of the National Health Service, someone who runs a shop or is able to help the community, please let me know. You can put a message on Facebook or send me an email, kevin@parson.ltd.uk. And once again, Katrina, thank you very much, and speak to all.
Thank you.
Good.